up. We've been talking about BP every single day since April for one reason or another. Last week, I reported a story about how all of these service stations were considering, and we're going to bring it to BP this fall, changing their names to Amoco. Remember, BP bought Amoco in the late 90s. A bunch of service stations changed from Amoco to BP. Now they're thinking of reverting back. Let's talk to Marc Stoiber about this. He's VP of Green Innovation at Maddock Douglas, rather. Marc, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about where BP is right now, and then we'll get into some specifics. I mean, it looks like they've got the leak fixed, or at least capped to the point where it is soon going to be fixed, very soon. Where do they go from here as a company? We know they're going to pay a lot of money to claimants. They've got a lot of liabilities. But can they survive as an ongoing concern to pay those liabilities?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball because I'd be making a lot of money right now.
Right.
But I do have a theory. I spent 20 years building and saving brands in advertising and design. And, Maddock Douglas is a company that's all about creating new innovations for clients and helping them with problems, a lot like this, if not as grand as this. So we do have some theories. I believe BP could go three ways right now. The first, this is entirely possible, is that BP just allows itself to merge with another company. Just a few years ago, BP was in talks with Shell, quiet talks with Shell about joining forces with them. So it's entirely feasible that they could join up with another company and perhaps just let their brand get a little bit quiet and let the other brand speak a little more loudly. That's one option. I believe, as you said just a minute ago, that BP has enough subsidiaries like Amoco, like Arco, that BP could conceivably change the logos on the gas stations and let its brand sort of retreat into the background, and let these other brands sort of go to the forefront so that people will see Arco and Amoco as opposed to BP. So that's feasible as well. There's also the option that BP just stays the course and tries to rehabilitate its brand. Now, this is a tough course because you have to come clean. You have to say, mea culpa, I made a big mistake and I'm going to do my honest best to fix it. But it worked very well for companies like Tylenol and Exxon. Mm-hmm. The final course, and this is where things get interesting, is BP could say, you know what, a few years back we rebranded ourselves. We went from British Petroleum to Beyond Petroleum. And you know what? We're going to do our best to actually become Beyond Petroleum. And, is this a watershed moment for BP? It's probably unlikely, but there is a chance that they could say, you know what, instead of having 1% of our activity in non-fossil fuel, we're going to bump it up to 5 or even 10% and become, the Model T Ford of the post-fossil fuel age.
Yeah, but that could backfire on them as well. I mean, it sort of was. The campaigns that were out prior to the spill were that they were so green and so earth conscious, and then bam, look what happened. So is it better maybe just to kind of shy away from that stuff now?
I believe that the problem that they had wasn't that they were claiming to be, wasn't that they put a Beyond Petroleum in their logo, it's that they weren't Beyond Petroleum in their day-to-day activities. So that's what backfired. It's a greenwash. It's a very bad greenwash. It will be the hardest way to go. If you want to actually stick to your guns and say, hey, we're going to be a post-fossil fuel company, or that's what we're sticking to, it's going to be hard. But, America is made of companies that are fighting the status quo and making fortunes doing it.
The one thing, too, about changing their names, or the logos anyways, along the service stations, you mentioned Amoco and Arco. How long do you think it would take for the consumer to start to forget that, yeah, Amoco is really BP, and kind of put that behind them?
I don't think it would take very long at all. Because people just have too much on their brain, that yes, it's a terrible disaster, but I'm already hearing reports about the oil dissipating in the water and things becoming better, and we already have other things on our brain. We got soccer practice, we got our job, we got our house we're trying to save. It wouldn't take us that long to forget.
Marc, you're the VP of Green Innovation. How important is it these days that companies actually attempt to show the world that they're trying to be green, or is it just a bunch of marketing hooey?
I think green innovation has come a long ways. Back 20, 30 years ago, you saw legislated innovation happening with things like the Environmental Protection Agency legislating the Clean Air Act and forcing companies to go green. Then what you saw was the Walmart and the GE Eco-Imagination era, and Walmart proved the business case for eco-efficiency. That is, if I force my suppliers to use less packaging, if I use more energy-efficient lighting and refrigeration systems, I will save millions of dollars and I will make money. And that's what most businesses are embracing right now in green. Innovation, though, that's the next step forward. That's moving from mitigation or limiting the bad to actually looking to try something new. And you are seeing companies do that already. I think that a lot of the greenwash, the blatant greenwash, is going away because consumers are citizen journalists, and they're more than happy to report on a company that is greenwashing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem, right? Marc, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks for having me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, Marc Stoiber, VP of Green Innovation at Maddock Douglas via Skype.